AM 1460, the new WXBR. Mike Paiva here with you this morning. Joining us on the program is the director, writer, and producer of the new film project Pro Wrestlers vs. Zombies, Mr. Cody Knotts. Cody, thank you for being on the program this morning. How did you come up with the idea for Pro Wrestlers vs. Zombies, and were you a fan growing up?
I was a wrestling fan. I grew up loving Roddy Piper and the Iron Sheik and Hulk Hogan. And, I came up with the idea because I have a 14-year-old son, and he loves wrestling and he loves zombies, so I thought they would work well together.
It really is a perfect mix, the two.
It is, and it's because zombies, you can do almost anything to them. I mean, they can beat them around and knock them around, and wrestlers already do that in the ring. I mean, it's like having a host of jobbers coming at you.
Now, you and Shane Douglas, who stars in the film as himself and also acts as a producer and a fight choreographer, went to the same college, if I'm correct, and you pitched the idea to him at a convention in Pennsylvania. How hard was it to pitch the idea of this movie to him, and how did you get the ball rolling?
Well, I pitched it to him. What I didn't know was that Shane had a lot of people approach him about different ideas, and they never follow up on it. And the fact that I kept pushing on it and kept moving forward, it interested him. And then he got Terry Funk to come on board. Now, Terry didn't end up in the film because he was hurt at the time. So once those two were on board, it made it a lot simpler. Everybody just kind of fell into place.
We're chatting with Cody Knotts, director, producer, and writer of the new film project Pro Wrestlers vs. Zombies. The cast is a literal who's who in the world of professional wrestling, including, as you mentioned earlier, Roddy Piper, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and Kurt Angle, among others. Having these guys in your film, I think, legitimizes it a bit. Who was the first one to confirm besides Shane Douglas?
Well, so we had Funk, and then Funk couldn't do it. So right after that, we managed to get Matt Hardy. I had lunch with Matt and his wife, Revy, and they were on board. And then we got Roddy. And once we had Roddy, everybody and their brother wanted it. That made it really... And Roddy was the key. And Kurt was a last-minute, late addition. We were very fortunate he came down and, being a Pittsburgh guy, wanted to be involved.
How big was it for you to have Piper along on the film?
It meant everything. When we went in, and we had to have one of the icons of wrestling. Piper was, after The Rock, the most successful actor / wrestler. And so he was absolutely key. It was either him or we would have been hunting all around. I don't know what we would have done without Piper.
Tell us a little bit about the soundtrack for the film.
The music is incredible. I actually have the music supervisor sitting here with me, who's my fiance. So I'm a little biased. But we had a band called Dead and Five from Detroit that gave us a classic rock sound, and we had I think an incredible find, 4 young men who were in Parkersburg where we filmed, who called Reverend Sky, and they have a really nice rock pop sound and are incredibly talented for as young as they are. I mean, we had some other Ken Hampton from Connecticut. Social was one of the composers, and a man named Joel Adams, who was from Uniontown, Pennsylvania.
Now, the buzz is definitely growing for Pro Wrestlers vs. Zombies, as it is listed as number 5 on IMDb's list of most popular zombie films to be released in 2014. How long can we wait to expect to see the film in theaters?
Well, the first week of April, we are in the process of getting theaters lined up for the film. And we've been talking with AMC, and we tell people, please go on Sweet AMC Theaters and tell them you want Pro Wrestlers. They're considering it because they're the one chain that will deal very well with independent films. There's the 5 majors. So we're pretty excited about that. And I mean, the other 4 films ahead of us all have well-known actors and much larger budgets. The pro wrestling audience is underestimated by a lot of people, and it's there, and the market that is there for it.
So if the movie does well, are there any plans for a possible sequel?
Oh, we have one written, and we talked with Roddy right away about doing a sequel. We would love to do one, and that's my intention, and the dream would be one day to have a film with The Rock and Stone Cold and Roddy, and put all the icons together in one film and have them, it's Expendables of wrestling. That's one of the ways we pitched it to people. But, you look at the Expendables, how well that works. This is bringing together the best names we could put together for wrestling.
Yeah, that's a perfect way to describe it. The Expendables of wrestling. Of course, we mentioned Roddy Piper, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Kurt Angle, Shane Douglas is there as well. So that's a very good comparison. How can folks get more information about the film?
If they go to Facebook, we have a Pro Wrestlers vs. Zombies site there. We do have a website, but it's not as active. The Facebook page, Pro Wrestlers vs. Zombies, will keep them updated. And I'll tell you, you're never going to have as much fun as watching Hacksaw hit zombies with a 2x4. It is a hell of a good time to watch that happen.
I checked out the trailer, Cody, and I think my favorite part was a wrestler had a zombie up in a gorilla press slam and just split him in half from that position, and I thought that was really cool.
Well, that gentleman is Matthew Rush, who is not a wrestler, but is known for he's a gay porn star.
Okay.
I didn't know how to put it. Matthew's a great guy, and he wanted to do something other than what he's done his entire life. And we thought that would add a little bit of interest for non-wrestling fans, and it's worked. People who know him come up and say, "How'd you get Matthew Rush?" Because he's like the Babe Ruth of gay porn. I don't know how.
Cody, any idea as to a date as to when we could see this in theaters, and how can, if there are theaters out there who aren't carrying the film, how can we get the theaters to carry the film?
Tweet AMC Theaters and let them know you want us there. Also, go to our Facebook page. The gentleman who's doing the booking the different theaters is asking for people to help, find independent theaters, and people from all over the country to send him information. The month of April, we will be in theaters, limited release around the country. So, it's starting the first week of April with WrestleMania. We timed it with that.
Perfect. It's a perfect timing. Cody, I want to thank you for joining us on the program this morning. Any last words for our listeners before we let you go?
Yeah, if you want to see good old American violence, no mumbo-jumbo martial arts, the guys actually taking a guy and slamming their head into a wall or taking a coconut across the zombie's head. You can't imagine who did that. Then you want to see this film. This is about big busty babes and powerful men smashing zombies. It's nice, fun popcorn fun. Great time.
Perfect. The film is called Pro Wrestlers vs. Zombies. Be on the lookout at a theater near you. The Metro South Morning Show, PM in the AM, continues right after this.